Minnesota and Dallas. The commonality to me, and it's a little different, I think, with both these teams in terms of how they're built, but the commonality in terms of identity with these teams right now is with their defense.
Yeah.
And Minnesota, number one defense in the league all season. Dallas, number one defense the last 20 games of the season. They both have size and length. They both have a player in their starting lineup that is a little bit undersized relative to everybody else. Mike Conley, Kyrie Irving.
Yep.
Both those guys have been super engaged throughout the season defensively. So I think both these teams, their identity is built. I think the fascinating part about Minnesota in sort of, watching this, and Jokic said this last night after the thing, he said, yeah, they're a team that's literally built to beat us. And Tim Conley, who was in Denver,
built that team,
goes to Minnesota and built them.
He built them to beat the team that he put together.
It's interesting to think about specifically with them, the sort of what makes them different is their size.
Yeah.
Right? They're just a bigger team. And everybody, we've lived through this three-point revolution. We've lived through this small ball era. You played against them this year. Like, what are some of the ways you can attack them? And what are some of the things that they just do really well?
Minnesota, that is.
Yes.
Minnesota is one of the few teams, if not the only team in our league, that makes the court seem smaller because of their length. When you got Gobert, Cat, Ant, Jaden, and Conley, even though he's not as tall as far as height, if you look at his arms, when he spread his arms out, his wingspan, shuts down a lot of the court as well. So, they cut down the court. They have, Kyle Anderson, super length, Naz Reid, and Nickeil Alexander. Those guys they have a lot of length, and, they just, you're driving, whatever the case may be, the court feels shrunk, so, the best thing you could do is not hold the ball. Because when you hold the ball, they spread arms, they lock arms, they just cut down half of the court. So, you have to, play very just like quick movements, quick drives, quick kicks, and it's not much like I used before. I don't know if that was episode 1 or 2, and I said not much fat time, not much fuck around time when it comes to Minnesota's defense, because they can put you in a box for sure.
Yeah, and then you add in the fact that they can match up positionally if they want.
Yeah.
They can cross match if they want and use Gobert as a roamer and have him just sort of clean up different stuff. It's going to be interesting to see, just how Dallas involves Gobert, whether that's in pick and roll, whether that's sort of off ball. If he is cross matched for whatever reason, do they try to play a little small at times? Like, I could imagine potentially a non-lively Gafford lineup, right? With one of them out.
Yeah.
Rick used to do that all the time when we would play against the Jazz.
And what's a big hurt for Dallas in this series is no Maxi Kleber. Because he having him at the 5, would alleviate, a lot of what Minnesota is trying to do with his ability to guard bigger guys and also hit the 3. So, it's going to be challenging to see if J.K. and his coaching staff kind of goes to a smaller lineup to kind of get Gobert, to try to get Naz Reid and those guys out on the perimeter. But who is the 5 guys? You go Luka, Kyrie, Derrick Jones, P.J. Washington, and Tim Hardaway. He's kind of been not in and out of the rhythm because he didn't play late.
Josh
Green, so Dante Exum is kind of
feisty.
Josh Green is feisty.
Josh Green is feisty,
but they would definitely put Rudy on Josh Green for sure. They would put him on Josh Green and see if he can make a couple shots. But we'll see. It'll be definitely a game of chess for sure when it gets down to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Dallas, of course, I mentioned the defense. They're unique because they have 2 insanely great shot creators, both for themselves and for other people. P.J. Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. have been phenomenal in this playoff run. Phenomenal. And I think one of the big things in this series, and it goes back to 2 on the ball, right, is can Minnesota stay out of that? Where I think at times the Clippers and OKC got in trouble. And you got to give credit to Dallas, of course, for actually making the shots.
Mm-hmm.
But where they got in trouble at times was putting 2 on the ball against Kyrie and putting – it wasn't even necessarily blitzes, though, Bron. You know what I mean? It was that overhelp or is that, hey, you know, that slot drive from Luka, we're going to put 3 bodies in the vicinity. Well, Luka can make any pass.
Any pass.
He can make any pass. And if P.J. Washington's shooting 47% from 3, you're in trouble. Right? You're in trouble if you're overhelping. So I think as much as Minnesota can stay out of 2 on the ball, the more success they will have in this series.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching Mind the Game podcast. If you like it, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you.